friends, it's Jackeline here. In today's video, I'm bringing you my review, demo, Swatches, comparisons, these two eye looks using the brand new Instant Eye Palette. Smoky Eyes Are Forever from Charlotte Tilbury, plus her new formulation on the Limitless Lucky Lips. But before we get started, and if you're new here, I hope that you can give me that opportunity and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you ring that post notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads, and come and follow me on my Instagram. And now, if you want to see how I achieve these two eye looks, all the details about this Charlotte Tilbury Holiday 2021 collection, then just keep on watching. We are here a little bit past mid-September and we are already seeing a ton of holiday makeup releases, which is not weird for being September, because honestly, if we look back to 2020, during September time is when we start seeing a lot of holiday releases. And in fact, even this year I was surprised that, you know, we see it at this time. I was thinking perhaps they will push it to October because of, you know, a lot of like shipping situations and whatnot. But hey, nothing stops the beauty industry, that's for sure. And not too long ago, I think almost 2 weeks ago, I reviewed the Givenchy Holiday 2021 collection, and today we're here for Charlotte Tilbury, and she has, I will say, started because knowing Charlotte Tilbury, I don't think this is just the only things for holiday of 2021. I think there's gonna be more. So here you have the Instant Eye Palette. Smoky Eyes Are Forever. So this is something very traditional for Charlotte Tilbury. She launches during the holiday season a 12-pan palette, and you know, this year we see the same thing. And when I say the same thing, it's not the same palette, but the same kind of like component, 12-pan palette, made in Italy, $75. She hasn't raised the price for this palette, I think, since the first time, which I'm like, okay, super happy about, and perhaps is one of her best values in general. Now, this palette was available for 48 hours early access, but knowing Charlotte Tilbury, perhaps is still available on her website, and I'm sure it's going to come to different retailers, not only Sephora, Nordstrom, many more. I will be leaving all the details of my makeup as well as all the products that I will be using today on the description box below, as well as this right here. Now, with this early access situation, it came this little blender brush. I don't know if, you know, later on we will see it with this or not, but I just wanted to show it to you. Also, there are new lipsticks called the Limited Lucky Lips. We will go over them in a minute. But yes, my friends, so far this is what we're seeing. So let me just go ahead and show you how the palette looks like. Beautiful black casing. It looks super beautiful and elegant. I just love the elegance of this palette. In fact, Givenchy also kept that black and golden. If you want to see that video too, I will put it up on the cards, or it will be on my description, or you can look it up on my channel. But I really like, you know, keeping it classy, elegant, you know, something that you can be for the holidays in general, Christmas or New Year's. Let's take a peek at the inside. There you go. There are the 12 different shades. And then the palette comes with a nice mirror as per usual. Now, the palette is not super weighty, and that's common for these type of palettes from Charlotte Tilbury. In fact, most of the eyeshadows on the luxury world, they are not super heavy. I think there's this thing going on, like everybody's like, I want something very heavyweight because it's a luxury palette. But not all of them are heavy. Like even Chanel, they are very lightweight. I think the ones that came out with the heaviest ones has been Gucci. But honestly, you know, like very sleek, modern, yet elegant. Absolutely loving it. Before I start with the swatches, the palette comes with this little plastic insert, and basically this is the beauty about Charlotte Tilbury palettes that she creates. In this case, that you have 12 different eyeshadows. Each trio creates a look. So these three will create a look, then these three another look, and another look. That's why you have these inserts that says 1, 2, 3, prime, enhance, and a smoke. So you can go that direction, or just use it as any other 12-pan palette and just create your own beautiful mixes in here and whatnot. Okay, let's just go ahead and start swatching this baby right here. Giving you a closer look right there. Very beautiful, stunning. Look at this intensity right here. Oh, Oh, that's gorgeous. So here they are, the first three. Look how soft they glide. The first shade is a matte shade, and honestly, it doesn't show much on my skin tone. I do have a light to medium skin tone. If you're new here, welcome to my channel, and welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for making time out of your day to be here with me. I greatly appreciate it. And I think a lot of you guys have been really excited about this green trio because green is in fashion right now. Super soft. Look at these coppery shades. They glide like a dream. We have here Love Eyes, Power Eyes, Happy Eyes, and Confident Eyes. From Power Eyes, I'm gonna go to this khaki shade, and I'm gonna be using this Charlotte Tilbury blender brush. I'm gonna apply it a little bit above the crease, and then also on the outer V. Interesting enough, this shade is not pulling really khaki on me, but rather a little bit more warm in tone, almost brown. Which I mean, it shows on the swatch too. Refer 15 brush, and from the Confident Eyes section, I'm going to this deep shade, which it actually is more of like a brown tone, and I'm just gonna apply it on the outer V. Refer 04 brush, and from the Power Eyes trio, I'm gonna go to this kind of like khaki green satin shade, and I'm gonna apply it right on the outer third of the eyelid, not covering completely the brown shade, but just kind of like right in between basically. Smith 253 brush, and from the Power Eyes, I'm gonna go to the middle green shade. I'm gonna place it on the middle of the eyelid. Smith 253 brush, and from the Love Eyes trio, I'm gonna go to this pink middle shade. And I'm gonna apply it from the inner portion and like the inner third. Refer 02 brush, and I'm gonna go to Power Eyes matte shade, taking it on my lower lash line. Sonia G Flat Definer from Confidence Eyes, we're gonna go to this middle matte shade, and I'm taking it very close to the lower lash line. Refer 29 brush, and let's go to the black shade, and I'm taking this and I'm stamping it on my upper lash line. I may end up doing a wing, but I just want to see how this goes. And the same thing on my lower lash line, just on the outer third. Refer 23 brush, and I'm going to Love Eyes matte shade, the lightest. And I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna apply it on my brow bone. As you can tell, you can barely see it there. Perfect. And now I'm gonna go also to Love Eyes with the same brush, and I'm gonna go to this metallic shade right here. And I'm applying it on the inner corner. Wow, that's a lot of, that's intense right there. You know, with whatever is left, I'm just gonna take it on my brow bone. Yeah, that is intense right there, very much so. Okay, let's go now for this eye right here, and let's do another eye look. I think let's just go with the Happy Eye section, which is the one that I haven't used yet. And now I'm gonna go with Classic Crease by Sonia G And we're just kind of following a little bit the suggestion of Charlotte Tilbury. Prime, then this will be enhance and smoke. So I'm gonna prime my eyelid and I'm gonna do it on my upper lash line. Wow, that's intense right there. Oh wow. Sonia G Builder Pro, and from the Happy Eyes section I'm gonna go to the middle shade, and I'm taking this shade and applying it from the middle of the eyelid towards the outer third. Sonia G Mini Booster, and from Happy Eyes let's go to this maroon shade. I'm gonna take it on the outer V. I'm just gonna smoke and create some depth, taking whatever is remaining to the crease. Confident Eyes, and this lilac-y shade with an Smith 253 brush. And I'm gonna take it from the inner portion of the eyelid all the way until it meets to that maroony coppery shade. Now going to Love Eyes and this lighter shade right here, and I'm just gonna tap it right in the middle. Refer 23 brush, and from Love Eyes I'm gonna go to this light metallic shade. I'm applying on the inner corner as well as the brow bone. Happy Eyes and the maroon shade with the Refer 28 brush. I'm just gonna buff it on the lower lash line. Sonia G Flat Definer, and from Confident Eyes I'm gonna go to the brown shade, and I'm taking this shade and applying it very close to the lower lash line as well as on the upper lash line. Trying to smoke it out a little and wing it too. Completely done with the two eyeshadow looks, and now let's go for these new Limitless Lucky Lips. They come in 5 different shades. They are supposed to be a matte, long-lasting formula. And honestly, I'm a lipstick lover, but I decided to just pick up one out of the 5 shades. I will be putting right here an image of the 5 different shades. This one right here, the one that I got, is called the Everlasting Blossom, also made in Italy. And this one I didn't saw it coming because I have seen the sneak peeks of other things from Charlotte Tilbury, but not from this right here. Let me show you how it looks. The bullet is a little bit more slim, thin, with the little kisses all over, and then CT on the top. Really pretty. And this shade right here is more of a me shade, more of like a Jackeline shade, something that I know I will wear more often. So let me just give it a quick swatch, show it to you. You know, it actually feels very creamy when I was swatching it. Let's see how it looks on the lips. Definitely a beautiful rosy tone shade. Obviously it doesn't really match with any of these eye looks. I mean, perhaps with the green one a little more than this coppery tone right here. But I thought that this lipstick was gonna be a little bit more, I mean, I know Charlotte Tilbury. I know that she will not give us something that is super drying, but that it was gonna be way different than the matte formulation, the Matte Revolution formula. And actually feels pretty much the same in consistency, but actually it's not super, like, it's not drying and it doesn't feel uncomfortable. It actually feels very thin in consistency. Now that I have you right here, let's go really quick for comparisons on these lipsticks in terms of shades. I have here the classic Pillow Talk. This one right here is more mauve tone. Just gonna put it below. Yeah, lighter in shade too, and cooler in tone too. I have right here also Pillow Talk number 2 medium, also cooler in tone. Let's go for Berry Victoria. Yeah, much cooler. Bond Girl. First Dance. Yeah, I mean, pinky, but very different from many other shades. But I hope these comparisons help you. Now let's go for comparisons of the eyeshadow palette. And I think the eyeshadow palette that really like immediately I thought, this looks so much alike to it is this Starry Eyes to Hypnotize. If I'm not mistaken, this was 2019 palette. Yeah, 2019. And I have a full review on this palette too with 4 eyeshadow looks. So I'm just gonna compare them side by side. The way that I'm going to do it is on this arm. I'm going to have the comparisons of the palette that I'm comparing it to, and because I already have the new palette right here, Swatch, we will just compare it like this to make it a little bit easier. Then I have here the 2018 palette. This one is called Stars in Your Eyes palette, and honestly I'm not gonna waste of your time swatching this palette because this leans a little bit more maroony tone, purpley in tone. I mean, there may be a couple overlaps right here, but not really exactly the same shades. I mean, I had been like trying to look at it. And same thing with the eyeshadow palette of last year, which is Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize. This has again more purples, raspberry tones, brown shades too. So in the main palette, it's very different. I'm gonna show you right here Copper Charge. This is a quad that came out 2 years ago with a series of like color coded kind of eyeshadows. So here you go, there's Copper Charge right there. Sorry, a little bit wonky those swatches. And then I have here also Mesmerizing Maroon. Now this one, Mesmerizing Maroon, is actually more maroony in tone, and it actually has a little bit more purple base eyeshadows. And it will be more, if so, comparable to this section right here and a little bit of this section. Really for a lot. Now, a quad that I don't have from Charlotte Tilbury, although I reviewed it but I decluttered it, is the green eyeshadow quad. So I do have a review on that one from like a year and a half ago, almost 2 years, but it's not longer with me because last year I was completely against green eyeshadows, but this year I'm more like, okay, give them to me depending on which type of green. So I don't have that one to compare, but honestly, yeah, it's I mean, it will be really similar to this look right here. That's absolutely for sure. Now that I'm completely done with the 2 eye looks, also giving you comparisons and swatches and all that jazz, let's go to my final thoughts about this palette right here. I think these are the best value palettes that you can get from Charlotte Tilbury to try her formula. So I think overall the palette actually worked really well. Now in color story wise, I think if you have this palette right here, I don't want to say skip this new palette because there's a big difference between this palette and this new palette. This one right here has these beautiful shades. This black is not really a black, it has a little bit of blue in it, and then this is a pewter kind of gunmetal tone with a little bit of blue into it too, and this one is more like a taupey tone. So I mean, if you're looking to this palette right here and you're like, oh, you know, it's very alike, yes, they are close, but they are not the same. I mean, here I find that you have a little bit more of like true browns and neutral browns to work with. The coppers in here are not as intense as the copper on this eye palette, and even the green shades are not as, like here on the new palette you find a green, and I'm sorry, it's really hard to really see because you know it's so reflective, the this part right here. But the new palette, the green is a little bit more intense, I should say. So although it will give you kind of like alike vibes from this palette, I think they are different enough that she's not completely repeating the palette itself. Like I said, the main things are the coppers, you know, on this new palette that is more intense. And again, this palette right here has these smoky eye look that turns a little bit on the bluish side with a hint of pewter, silver, gunmetal that is just stunning. This one is just offering something a little bit different. Now, as in terms of formulation, if you are familiar with the quads from Charlotte Tilbury, you usually get a celestial formula from her traditional quads. I'm not talking about the Star Aura or the Fire Rose. They are different. Here, you're not getting that celestial shade, that glistening shade. You're getting mostly, I mean, you're getting 5 mattes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mattes. Then you're getting a lot of metallic shades, and then a couple satin shades. This one right here is a satin shade, and then pretty much the rest are all really, they act more like metallics. This one I will say is borderline satin metallic, but mostly metallic shades. So here you will try a little bit of that forgiving formula from Charlotte Tilbury that it's beautiful. Her satin and even her metallic shades, if you have mature eyelids or eyelids that they have a lot of folds like mine, these are very, the formulation is just so, it does have so many emollients, and it's just so thin that you will see it's very forgiving to the eyelids. It's so beautiful. Now, in terms of how this trio works right here, honestly, in this case, on this eyeshadow palette, I would not use it as trios. This one, to me, feels way too light for my skin tone. I mean, you saw this very light bone shade for me, didn't even show much right here for me, and it's just because, again, my skin tone. If I would have done something different, I will say this shade right here is a matte shade, but it has some khaki in it, and this one, although brown, is a very deep brown. I think she needed some sort of neutral brown tone right here to balance these copper tones, this right here, and then to add some dimension on this right here. I mean, to me, it's something that is lacking on this palette, and perhaps a trade-off for this one. And it will be also a matte shade. That is in my personal humble opinion. I mean, Charlotte Tilbury, she's a master as a makeup artist, so who am I to tell? But that's just me and how I will use it. But other than that, I mean, like, you can always mix this shade with this shade and just get that middle tone brown. I mean, you know, mixing shades are very important too. So maybe perhaps that's something that I needed to do. Okay, let's just move on from this right here. But overall, I think the palette, it's beautiful. You have really a combination of different shades. There's really not a color story per se, because she's actually doing the, you know, trios for you. I think you can tell by the swatches right here, you have a lot to work with, you know, like from, yes, a few rosy tones, kind of lilac-y tones, but I mean, you have quite a bit of shades to work with. Really a fun palette, and something that I would recommend. I mean, like, if you are new to Charlotte Tilbury or you don't have so many and you want something, that I think this is the best deal from Charlotte Tilbury. Her 12 fun palettes, you don't get her celestial shades, but in trade, I mean, you're getting a lot of different shades, you know, like for different occasions, different moods, something that you can use it all year round. Sleek packaging, really beautiful. I think this is a total yes for me. And I mean, I would say if you're a collector of Charlotte Tilbury, perhaps you have most of the shades or very alike of the shades. She's not repeating the shades though, but if you're not, you have a really nice mix of shades right here. Now, going for the lipstick, you know, I'm really impressed for the formulation. I mean, like, there's little amount of transfer. It's staying here really well. It's not drying. I don't feel my lips pulling. It's a little bit more matte though than the Matte Revolution formula. As it's setting, I mean, I can feel it, but it's not gathering on my lines. It looks very pretty. I love this shade right here. It's really a beautiful shade. Now, as far as the packaging goes, perhaps not my favorite packaging. I really like how sleeky looks, but these little kisses is kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I know that's something very Charlotte, but yeah, I mean, like, it's really pretty. And I will leave a pinned comment on the comment section down below how it wears throughout the day. So anyhow, friends, I think this makes it for this video. I hope that you really enjoy it, you find it helpful. Let me know if you're planning to pick up any of these products from Charlotte Tilbury, either the palette, these, or perhaps you pick up already everything. How are you liking it? How you're enjoying it? Let's enrich the conversation on the comment section down below. And while you're at it, and if you haven't done so yet, I hope that you can give give me that opportunity and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you ring that post notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads, and come and follow me on my Instagram. If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Also share it with family and friends. And until the next time, I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye bye.